love guys like that down there.
Put out equity and
They all have a little.
they'll give you a nice little charge for that.
See, that's why Maryland.
Give you a road fee, get the mileage in the fuel, they'll change your road tax. They'll figure out how many gallons that truck runs for brand new, and they'll charge you for that. That is correct. Not you. They're not reading newspapers at once. I'm just saying.
Hey, Jim.
Don't have to worry about that. But like this, leaded gas has got dye in it. Racing gas.
Not all outside of that.
I still buy leaded gas. I run it in my Corvette on the racetrack. Yeah, yes. And I can't run too fast on the max too with it. It's legally still.
Good evening, everyone. We'll call the Chippewa County Board meeting to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Supervisor Hall, could you sign in, please?
Tried for 5 minutes.
All right, you're here. All right, roll call, everyone's here. I'd like to welcome our new supervisor, Michelle Shipman. Welcome. And if everybody could introduce yourselves after the meeting, that'd be great. All right, I'd look for a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you. We have one member of the public wishing to be heard. Dan Frederick. Okay, come on up.
Afternoon, everybody. My name is Dan Frederick. I'm owner of Frederick Excavating, and I live out 17261 County Highway J at Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. My dad started the business out there in 1964, and we've been there ever since. We've never had a problem out there with our road, but apparently this year there was a road ban that was established on my road, which has shut my business right down. I cannot get out of the property. And I've tried working things out with Brian to get him to move the sign, give me a piece of paper, a permit, something so that I can operate my business, and all I get is no. And I'm just looking for help from you guys, something to be done with the road ban, because everybody's running on J from my overpass, which is out there by Gordy's, all the way into Chippewa, and the businesses are all operating on 00 all the way from the interstate right to Woodward so that they can operate. And it seems as though that I'm the only one that's shut down, because I've got numerous pictures on my phone, and I've been bugging the sheriff's department quite a bit, because all my neighbors' businesses just keep their semis and beer trucks and everything else running in and out of there. And the only one that's paying attention to the law out there is me, and it's hurting me financially. And all I'm looking for is some help from you guys to get that road limit off that road, or at least get me a permit so that I can get in and out.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. I'd look for a motion to approve the consent agenda. So move. Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Public hearing on the 2020-2024 County Library Plan of Service.
Sure.
Hello, my name is Joe Neese. I'm the director of the Chippewa Falls Public Library. It's a pleasure to speak with you today during National Library Week. This is the annual library plan, and I'll just run through the slides here. I think it's okay if you have questions to ask them during it, so feel free to. Thank you. So these were the committee members of the plan. A mix of citizens and library directors. I held 3 committee meetings, the final draft hearing, and the presentation of the board. So why does the county need a plan? You can see there the county is required by state statute 4311 to have a county library plan that addresses how the county is going to provide services to residents without a library. Defines how the service is provided and how libraries are reimbursed and at what level. What's changed since the last plan? New library directors. There always seems to be a lot of turnover in the library field, particularly directors of small libraries. And the city library here is the largest one in the county. The additional access to digital collections, that's really grown in recent years. People access library materials remotely, and increased wireless usage. And we've done some remodeling within the Chippewa Falls Public Library. Here are the plan elements: inventory of services, governance, structures of libraries, current library usage, required funding, priorities and strategies, implementation, updating and amending the plan. Person to my left here is John Thompson from the Indian, no longer the Indian Head Federated Library Service, IFLIS Library Service. He handed out some kind of pertinent stats to take a look at. The inventory of services, those are pretty much services that are across the board for the libraries within the system. And so the plan seeks to increase funding to 100% by increasing the budget by, well, that's wrong, isn't it? Yeah, so that was the previous one.
Yeah.
So to increase it to 90% by increasing the percentage by 2% each year. And Chippewa County is currently at 80%. And if you see, those are the surrounding counties, what they are funding at. So what we're looking at is proposing to increase each year at 2%, so it'll be at 90% by the end of the plan. And so that's the funding, the 2018 usage payable in 2020. If you see there at the bottom, total expenditures divided by total circulation equals cost per circulation, multiplied by non-resident circulation equals funding per library. And so those 4 far right columns kind of give a breakdown of what that funding would look like under different percentiles. Cost to go from 80 to 90% would be an increase of $1.24 for a $100,000 home. The county library tax is outside the county's levy limit, so the payment to libraries can be raised without impacting other county services. There's the priorities. Provide equitable access to library services to all residents of Chippewa County. Maintain the relevancy of the plan of library service objectives. The library director will continue to represent Chippewa County on the IFLIS Advisory Council of Libraries. And the library directors in Chippewa County will communicate and cooperate effectively and hold meetings at least annually on a rotating location basis. Chippewa County residents will continue to be made aware of the scope of library services. The county will encourage all libraries to achieve compliance with the Tier 1 level standards as set forth in the most recent edition of the Wisconsin Public Library Standards. And the county will support the funding obligations of municipalities for all public libraries within the county and may adjust funding support based upon local decisions made and/or actions taken by library boards and/or their municipalities. And the county library funding and planning. Are there any questions? No? All right. Thank you so much for hearing today.
Is there any members of the public that would wish to speak on this? Come on up.
I am Sharon Shepard. I'm the director in Cornell. And I just wanted you all to know how important county funding is to small libraries. We are a community of just under 1,500 people, but we serve the surrounding townships in Chippewa County. And actually, our patrons total more than half are just the Chippewa County non-residents of Cornell. And our circulation actually goes, more than half of that is Chippewa County non-residents. So we are pulling in a lot of people, and without the county funding, we just wouldn't be able to provide anywhere near what we do right now. We're small, so we don't have the staff or the facilities to do a lot of programming, but we do. I think what you'll find in a lot of libraries now is we're not so much books and music. We're a community center. People come there. We had a couple young men last week who were there from the National Guard who were meeting with people. We don't have a meeting room, but they're welcome to use. We have a table, and we have a desk in the back, so we are always encouraging people if they call and say, do you have a meeting room? We always say, well, we don't have a meeting room, but you can use the desk and the table, and we actually are not a quiet library. We have music on all the time, low enough so that it's not annoying people, but also so people that are at those desks and the table having conversations don't feel like they're being listened to, you know. But that part of it is libraries now are not just the books, like I said, the books and the music. We're there for people. People come in. I had a woman one time, I think the nicest comment we ever got was, she said coming to our library was like visiting somebody's home. And I think that's kind of an important thing to remember, that small libraries may not have all the big advantages of big libraries, but we do offer a lot. And the county funding is really, really important. Without that, we wouldn't be able to do anywhere near what we do. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Anyone else? We'll close the public hearing then and move on to reports. County Administrator review and update.
Good evening. So just want a reminder of the strategic plan. Obviously, we've been talking about this for quite a while. I'm excited to get this kicked off. April 23rd is the first meeting. It starts at 6. And then May 21st, we should put that on your calendars too for the next meeting. And again, John will be there, Hackhammer from WCA, and then Joseph from UW Extension will be doing the actual meeting. I was lucky enough to go through the CJCC strategic plan with Joseph, and I thought he did an excellent job. He really brought everybody to the table and got everybody to talk and come up with a mission and vision statement, and that's what we're going to be working on. So I think it'll be very interesting, and I'm excited for it. Any questions? All right.
Okay, thanks. We have no department reports, and we have one general report, recognition of Jerry Clark for Outstanding Service Award.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to the County Board, thank you for allowing us to speak tonight. So the Chair of the Ag and Extension Committee, Supervisor Hartman, invited us to showcase some of the work that Jerry Clark has been doing, really not only here in the Chippewa Valley, but in Chippewa County, but really recognized nationwide. So I want to share a couple of the awards that he's been given and share a little bit about the impact that Extension has through the partnership that you all provide with Cooperative Extension. Extension is part of the university. We're now part of UW-Madison, and we are the Wisconsin idea alive in the flesh right here in our backyard, in our front yard, in our side yards. And we use research to help people make good decisions about their life or their organization. So just a few moments ago, this was totally orchestrated, your county administrator speaking about the impact of cooperative extension and some of your organizational work with CJCC and with the work that you all are going to be doing as a body. So that's what extension does. We look to research to make good decisions and then to help empower citizens. And electeds are citizens, right? You're representing the people in your community. So try to help you make the best decisions. So Jerry Clark has been with extension for I think 20 plus years, and he is definitely a very well respected person, not only here in Chippewa County, but across the state and the country. He is a go-to guy that people respect for kind of crisis management with farms, and then also just what the heck is this bug, and how do I manage the turf on in my front yard. And so while Jerry may not have all of the answers, he probably does, but if he doesn't, then he knows how to access that university research and knowledge, and that's so important for this partnership that we have. So the first award that I'll share, and let me say he gets a lot of awards, this is not even like all of them. The first one is through the Midwest Forage Association. In 2018, which was not too long ago, he received the Outstanding Service Award. And so I want to share that with him again tonight. And then he also received an award along with partnership with 2 other ag agents in Chippewa County. And this is through the National Association of County Agriculture Agents. And every year they solicit different proposals for awards. And one of our colleagues, faculty member Katie Wantock, proposed this award, and Jerry and Katie and the ag agent in Eau Claire County, Mark Hagedorn, received this award together for their work on Farm City Days. And these 3 faculty members, educators, have come together to bring kids to a local farm, rotating through Chippewa, Dunn, and Eau Claire counties, to bring youth to be involved and learn about what's farm life like. And they work very diligently with trying to provide education for the kids, getting sponsors, and ultimately offering the education to try to help inform the next generation of farmers, which we know that we need, and we know that farmers are having a hard time. So it's a way to help boost up and give some positive encouragement and appreciation for the hard work farmers do. So this award was given to Jerry again. He was a national winner for his participation with Farm City Days here in our community. Would you like to share a few words? Sure.
It's always a risk to put a Clark in front of a microphone. So that's just a shot at my sister. So anyway, I appreciate the award, the recognition by the county. We've had been here 20 years, and the joy is the work. Obviously, the awards are something that kind of come along with the territory as you go through a career like this. But with the Midwest Forage Association, it's the farmers that really provide that backdrop. I mean, we need farms to give us the fields and allow us to do the research and the educational programs, and we give them a call and they say, yeah, come on out, we can do this for you, or open up their barn or their shed for whatever type of meeting you're doing. And so in the background of all these types of recognition are the farmers, because without them we really, we don't do our jobs well at all. So the Midwest Forage Association one really hits home because a number of the farmers across the county, we've been up in the Holcomb area doing some potato leafhopper type programs. We've been down in the southwestern part of Wheaton there doing programs on some of the disease management of alfalfa. So it's a program that really reaches across the whole county as far as who those dairy and livestock producers are and the importance of that forage to their livestock. So we're trying to always find the best way to help those farmers. And the Farm City Day program was one that's really, I think, under the leadership of Katie in Dunn County, and with Mark and I providing the backdrop for the Chippewa and Eau Claire County locations. That's one that I think we've really made the impact with the non-farm community. When you look at how many people come out to that, I think we're averaging close to 1,200 to 1,500
people on those Saturdays, and we've added that Friday kids program or student program for third to fourth graders, and we reach 800 of them. So if you count those 2 days together, you're hitting around 2,000 people across 3 counties. And so it's one that we're really, I think it shows how Extension's changed with the new model, having, a 3-county area, kind of really focusing on our expertise, so to speak. So that's one program that was recognized nationally. It was a national winner in the category of ag awareness and appreciation. So we're always pushing those types of programs. And again, the awards come along kind of, the work is the fun part. I've always said that the agent position is one of the pinnacle positions in Extension, just because you get to work with the farmers, the families, the youth, whatever it is. So really appreciate the support, especially from the Extension Committee and from the County Board, and thank you so much for the recognition and the time.
All right, moving on to business items, Resolution 1119.
Resolution to approve the Chippewa County Plan of Library Service 2020 through 2024. Now therefore be it resolved that the Chippewa County Board of Supervisors does hereby approve and adopt the attached Chippewa County Plan of Library Service 2020 through 2024. And be it further resolved that Chippewa County shall reimburse the county libraries at the current rate of 80% in 2019, plus an additional 2% annual increase commencing in 2020 for the duration of the 2020 through 2024 plan. And be it further resolved that municipal library boards of trustees may increase or decrease their board size pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 43.54 paren 1 paren A and section 43.54 paren 3. And be it further resolved that the county clerk shall forward a copy of the plan and this resolution to the Division of Libraries, Technology, and Community Learning in the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, forwarded to the county board by the Executive Committee.
Look for a motion to approve. Second.
Second.
Speak. Just some information, I guess. Just in general, the counties are required to support at least 70% for this. The last agreement was a 5-year agreement that increased it from 70 to 80%, 2% per year. This agreement would do the same. It'd go from 80 to 90 at 2% per year. And the fiscal impact at 2% is $16,881.49.
Any other questions or discussion? Supervisor Garish.
I'd like to ask, line 55 and 56, what does that retain to this document for? Are they telling us we're going to lose representation, or why is that included?
Randy?
That would be, Jim did the resolution.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I believe that was language that should have been deleted.
I'll make an amendment to
Please
delete
do.
lines.
Yes, please do.
55 and 56 from this resolution.
Do we have a second for that amendment?
I could explain why. I used the template from the last one we did 5 years ago, and there was an issue with decreasing and increasing the size back then, and there was something that needed to be done. I deleted it in the whereas. I forgot to delete it out of those statements, so thank you for catching that.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Can we get a new battery for Supervisor Hull over here for his voter machine? I don't know if you have any that are handy, but otherwise we'd have to share.
I was going to share the
Well,
battery.
they actually can't.
It's guaranteed till 2013, so I don't know why it's not there.
To a library or to vote?
2013.
All right, you ready to go?
Yeah.
It wasn't tingling, so it's gonna go.
As soon as he gets a battery.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy. Yeah. We're all going to be there.
All right, any discussion on the amendment? Let's go ahead and vote.
No one else.
Let's see. Is that the right light? Sorry. I need one too.
All right, release. 14 yes, 1 no. All right, the amendment passes. Now we're back to the original resolution. Any discussion? Let's vote. Oh, you ready?
I need them to stop pushing buttons for just one.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Release. Passes 15-0. Resolution 12-19.
Resolution to declare April 8th through the 12th, 2019 Work Zone Awareness Week. Now therefore be it resolved that the Chippewa County Board of Supervisors does hereby declare the week of April 8th through the 12th, 2019 as Work Zone Awareness Week in Chippewa County, forwarded to the County Board by the Highway Committee.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Yes, sir. Obviously, this is a resolution for our highway workers, something near and dear to my heart. I used to work out there myself, so just be aware, slow down, move over. I was actually on the campaign to do the slow down, move over with the DOT. It's been quite a few years now, so it's exciting for me to see that it's carried on from when I was a part of that, so that's very satisfying. But yeah, be careful out there. Our guys are, working really dangerous situations, and we just have to be aware.
Any other discussion or questions? Let's vote. Please. Passes 15-0. Resolution 13-19.
Resolution designating temporary no parking zones in the town of Arthur. Now therefore be it resolved by the Chippewa County Board of Supervisors that the following roadways, including all of the public right-of-ways adjacent thereto, shall be deemed temporary no parking zones for the period from June 26, 2019 through July 21, 2019, to wit: County Trunk Highway S from the intersection of County Trunk Highway K, thence east 2.5 miles, town of Arthur, Chippewa County, Wisconsin. Both sides of County Highway K, 1/2 mile north and south of the intersection with County Highway S, town of Arthur, Chippewa County, Wisconsin. Be it further resolved that the temporary no parking restrictions shall be applicable for all 24 hours of each day for all of the above described roadways. Be it further resolved that the Highway Commissioner shall be responsible to erect official traffic signs as required by the ordinance. Forwarded to the County Board by the Legal and Law Enforcement Committee.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve. Any second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
Yeah, this is something that's done every year. Obviously, there's two big fests out there, and this is for safety.
All right, let's vote. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Fiscal impact, that falls on the highway department?
No, the fest pays it.
Okay. All right, it doesn't state that, maybe it should.
Well, there is no fiscal impact because we get reimbursed for all of our expenses out there by the highway department.
Okay, this says that highway department will incur expenses.
I'll correct it next
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Let's vote. Release. Passes 15-0. Resolution 14-19.
Resolution to create a part-time licensed medical services screener position in the Western Regional Center Division of the Department of Public Health. Now therefore be it resolved that the part-time position of medical services screener position is hereby created in the Western Regional Center Division of the Department of Public Health to provide functional screens to determine eligibility of children with special needs for state programs including Children's Long-Term Support Services, Children's Long-Term Waivers, the Birth to 3 Program, and Comprehensive Community Services. And be it further resolved that 975 LTE hours currently being allocated to the Home Health Care Division of the Department of Public Health be used to partially fund this new position going forward. And be it further resolved that this position shall become effective upon passage of this resolution, forwarded to the County Board by the Executive Committee.
Motion to approve.
Make motion.
Second.
Angie's here, our Public Health Director, to talk about the position, and we'll answer any questions you have.
Thank you. So this position is really because we're seeing such an increase in cases with children and youth with special health care needs. So we do the intake for Human Services. We've got a great partnership where Human Services does the ongoing services, but we do the intake with the families. So we collect their medical records, we do the screening to make sure they qualify for the programs. And in 2014, we had 16 cases referred for children with long-term supports. And in 2018, we had 76 kids referred. So we just can't keep up with the amount of kids that are being referred in that program with that LTE position. And that's why we're asking for a part-time position for that. It will actually save $1,300 in tax levy, which will be covered through CCS and Birth to 3 funding through Medicaid.
One question. So part of it's being funded then through that switch over? And
Yeah.
the other part is coming through what?
So it's all billable services that they can bill through Medicaid. So we do get, or DHS gets reimbursed, and then we are actually contracted through DHS to provide the service.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, let's vote. Yes, 0 no. Resolution 15-19.
Resolution to create a part-time administrative assistant 2 position in the Aging and Disability Resource Center. Now therefore be it resolved that effective upon passage, a part-time administrative assistant 2 position is hereby created within the Chippewa County Aging and Disability Resource Center Division of the Department of Human Services to assist in addressing the administrative needs of the division, forwarded to the County Board by the Executive Committee.
Motion to approve. So moved. Second.
Second.
And Tim, our Human Services Director, is here, and Leslie's also here from the ADRC if we have additional questions.
Good evening. I just wanted to say hats off to Leslie on this, because since she came to the ADRC, she'd been hearing about how we needed an options counselor, which is a social work position, which is a fairly substantial amount of money when looking in the totality of things. But as she began peeling back the layers of the onion, she determined that by in fact hiring a administrative assistant 2 to take care of some of the receptionist duties, and which would free up Sandy Winrich, who's our administrative assistant 3, to do some more of the administrative oversight of the caregiver and the in-home support programs, including enrollments and home visits. This would take some of the heat off the options counselors to allow them to really be able to deal with what they do as options counselors. So, and it's also going to stop the flip-flopping of the administrative assistants between the different units. So, all in all, we're essentially, for this part-time position, the funding is contained within the budget already. And if anybody has any questions?
Seeing none, let's vote. Release. 15 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Ordinance 01-19.
Ordinance to create sections 2-180 to 2-192 of the Chippewa County Code of Ordinances, the County Board Ethics Code. This is a second reading.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Well, this has been around for a while, and Jim's here to answer any questions. I don't know if there are any. We're more than happy to try and answer them.
Any questions, comments? We'll vote. Elise? 15 yes, 0 no. Ordinance 05-19.
Ordinance to amend section 58-31, paren D and paren E to reduce the speed limit on a section of County Trunk Highway J from 55 miles per hour to 40 miles per hour.
Motion to approve.
So move.
Second. Second.
I'll leave this one up to Brian, our highway commissioner, and he'll be here for the next two.
This one came from Traffic Safety Committee. It was a sight vision issue at the top of the ramps coming off at Highway J from Highway 29 westbound. And so we looked at it. We decided that it was appropriate. We did a speed study and looked at lowering the speed limit. And that's so where the decision came from, to lower the speed limit in that area from 50th Avenue down to 47th there, 40 miles an hour, which 40 miles an hour is more than 10 miles an hour below the statutory speed limit of 55, so that required DOT approval. And so they actually did a full review at DOT and recommended the same that we did.
Questions? Yep.
Maybe a little confused, but it says 40 miles an hour, and then under the ordinance, it says just for the 35 mile an hour zones.
Oh, what happened was a couple of years ago when we cleaned up the ordinance, it was really literal. So we had a ordinance for 35 miles an hour that was a little bit north of 50th. And we just brought everything back to 50th and the 35 mile an hour zone north of 50th. So it's a cutoff right there at 50th. North of there is 35, south of there is 40. It used to be a little bit on each side of the intersection, depending on which way you're going, so we just cleaned it up.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, 0 no. Ordinance 06-19.
Ordinance to amend section 58-39, paren C of the Chippewa County Code of Ordinances to add ATV, UTV routes on County Trunk Highway K.
Motion.
All right. Second?
Yeah.
All right.
This was 2 of the 3 route requests that we looked at this year. We look at route requests from the towns or municipalities or the ATV council. We look at those once a year. And this was 2 of the routes that met the criteria. We'd redone the criteria this year and came up with a scoring system, and it actually worked really well. You can see in your packets there's the application, and on the second page is the scoring. And both of these routes met the criteria for safety and everything else. So they were approved by the highway committee. The other one was appealed by the highway committee, and it was a dangerous, curvy, long stretch, and that one didn't make the criteria, so it didn't make it to the board.
Questions? Well, oh, sorry, Matt.
Just got a question about the signage. That'll be put up by the highway department, and how many signs roughly?
There's probably
One on either end,
6
or?
signs. I think there's
Okay.
some advanced notice signs, and then there's some directional signs on the routes. So 6 or 8, I would say. They had it all designed, and we went over it with the council and everything, so they're good with the price that we gave them.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to say that I wanted to thank Brian and everyone involved in developing this, because this is enormously a much more transparent and objective process than we had in the past. And I'm glad that any municipality or club or the council that would want their voices heard get to have them heard by a group of elected individuals and make their case for promoting ATVs in the county. So I'm glad to see that this worked the way it did, and I think it was great.
Anyone else?
Yes. Right here.
Oh, sure.
A while back, we had the cost for application for ATV route. The cost for that permit for that application, is that covering our costs in the county, or is it insufficient?
I think we probably spent about double what the costs were this year, but it was kind of a learning curve, so maybe we should see what it takes next year and look at it again. I would say we probably spent twice what the $200 fee was. We spent at least twice that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Let's vote. Yes, 0 no. Any communication? Agenda items for future consideration. Supervisor Hartman.
I would like to know where we stand with the costs on pay for performance. I haven't heard nothing on that lately.
Okay. Tony, can you give us an update next month, maybe? Oh, okay. Sure. Is that fine?
Wants to go through a cycle.
Okay.
So yeah, the cycle.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Supervisor Gullickson.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, quite a while back, we had talked about the upcoming census and possibly changing in the number of the county board members. Certainly think that that's timely now with census coming up, that we'd take a look at that.
It's kind of been talked about at executive committee, so, yeah. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Move to adjourn. Second? We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.